Welcome back to episode 2 of the Pelvic Floor series, my friends, where we continue to explore and build body awareness and connection. Let's jump into it. Today's topic is our core unit. What is the core? How it works? What things can impact it? And how can we connect to it are a few of the things that we will cover today. Let's just jump into it. And so the core, what is it? Really, it's a system that consists of different components. And as you can see, we have the pelvis at the bottom. So as we chatted about the pelvic floors last time, they're located at the floor of the core. Now, the roof of the core is the diaphragm. It's our breathing muscle, and it's surrounded by our rib cage. At the front, we have our abdominal muscles, and we have different muscle groups located there. And at the back, we have our spine, and then some of the supporting musculature. Now, I would also like to say that the glutes are playing a part in the core unit for providing some of that stability. And so if we're looking at all of these different components, they need to work in coordination to do their job properly. So the system can be impacted by tendencies to hold your core really tight by wearing tight clothes or tight high-waisted jeans, by gripping your bum a lot of the times during the day, by holding tension or feeling like the stress levels are so amped up that you feel like I can't even breathe. Pregnancy and postpartum and delivery can also play a role in impacting the system. Constipation and chronic straining when you're having a bowel movement, or if you are peeing, can also play a role in affecting the system, as well as abdominal surgeries or any trauma that could have happened in this area. Movement and exercise can also play a role if we're hyper-focusing on one aspect of the core and not really considering some of the other components. And so really it provides stability for this whole area. And it also needs to be dynamic, which means it needs to be moving. It needs to be able to do what you want it to do, to be able to go for a run, go for a bike ride, go for a swim, or any other activity you do throughout the day. So if the system is not working properly, then that's when we can run into some of those issues as I've described earlier. And so then our goal is to maintain the system coordinating. We want to build up that conscious awareness of what the pieces are doing, but then also allow it to transfer to the subconscious mind. So then you don't constantly need to think about the system and how it works. So really, how does the core work? Every time you're taking a breath in, that allows the expansion of your abdominals and your rib cage. That pressure change needs to go somewhere. So your pelvic floors accommodate for it by descending downwards. In a way, they lengthen so you can associate that with relaxation. Now, they don't relax completely, because if they did, that is when pee and bowels can come out. So that is not what's happening. So I will refer to the pelvic floors as they lengthen rather than they just relax. So let me go back. So when you take a breath in, the diaphragm descends down, your rib cage and your stomach expand out, and then your pelvic floors descend downward. So the pressure is going down with a breath in. When you breathe out, that is when the pelvic floors will actually shorten and lift up to allow the pressure to change in that direction. And so that is how we are coordinating the system. So when you take a breath in, I want you to take a breath in through your nose, and you're taking it into your tummy. I want you to expand your rib cage as you do that. And then I want you to feel what is happening in the pelvic floor region. It will be easier to do that in a sitting down position or a lying down position. So if I come a bit closer to the camera here, and I'm going to have my pelvis a bit higher up. So when I am breathing in, my diaphragm goes down. I'm getting more expansion in my abdominals, my pelvic floors descent. And you may not feel that initially, and that's okay. And then as you're breathing out, I want you to exhale through pursed lips or as if you're blowing out through a straw. And I want you to engage your pelvic floors and kind of lift everything from the bottom up as if you're zipping up the zipper of your jeans. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to come up into standing so you can see what that looks like. I breathe in, expanding, pelvic floors descent, breath out. I lift my pelvic floor, so I do a bit of a squeeze, and then I also draw my belly button. I don't just like bring my belly button in. I want to almost scoop them up as I do it to create that pressure increase upwards from my pelvic floors. And so doing that, you are connecting to how all the different systems or parts of the core unit system are working together. So that is your foundational activity, which is breathing in and out to allow you to connect to the pelvic floors as well as the abdominals and your back and seeing what that feels like. Recommend is to observe, where are you breathing? Are you breathing here or are you breathing here? And so to do that, I want you to take a breath in through your nose and breathe out. Just allow the breath to leave the body to see where that breath is going. So that is where the awareness piece is going to come in, of you just playing around with your breathing. So then we can jump into some of these different breathing strategies and techniques. So stay tuned for that, for us to explore further how can you continue to build up that core unit system awareness. So if you have any questions, please leave them down below, because I'm sure some of them can come up. And if you haven't watched the first episode series of the pelvic floors and the awareness around it, please watch that as well. And then I will see you in our next episode.